Language experts have expressed concern over the diminishing use of mother languages, attributing this decline to modernization and the increasing number of elites in society. They argue that this trend is eroding cultural values. These concerns were voiced during the climax of the Runyakitara Teachers Conference 2025, hosted by Kabale University's Institute of Language Studies to commemorate International Mother Language Day, observed annually on February 21st. The event that started yesterday brought together educators, language practitioners and stakeholders from various regions, including Bunyoro, Toro, Kigezi and Ankwale, to discuss the preservation of indigenous languages in the face of globalization and modernization. Dr. Majariwa David, Chief of the Institute of Language Studies at Kabale University, emphasized the importance of protecting native languages, warning that many could disappear if action is not taken.
This conference, we partnered with our fellow academic institutions like Makerere and other Runyakitara practitioners from Bunyoro, Toro region, Kigezi, and Ankwale to converge here and have a conversation about the need for revitalizing our mother tongue. And it was central toward this conference because of modernization and globalization. Our mother tongues are under threat, and given the centrality of these mother tongue languages, we intended to have this conference, have a conversation, see how we can chart a way forward.
He highlighted the need to change societal attitudes that prioritize English proficiency over mother tongue literacy. He called for the inclusion of indigenous languages in lower primary and nursery school curricula to strengthen cultural heritage from an early age.
We should advance mother tongue as language rights for individuals. And language boards should be taking up this role, but unfortunately in Uganda, language boards are underfunded, and as such, most of them are non-functional. So it is something that should be thought about. We should also move for the teaching of indigenous languages in nursery and lower primary age. Children have a strong foundation in the indigenous languages, which would be a foundation for their cognitive development, facilitating learning, critical thinking, reasoning, and the like.
Professor Emmanuel Muranga, head of Runyakitara Studies at Kabale University, urged the government to integrate local languages into national curriculum and make them examinable at all levels of education, including primary leaving examinations PLE, Uganda Certificate of Education UCE, and Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education USCE. He also encouraged media professionals, including cartoonists and graphic designers, to create children's content in indigenous languages to foster early adoption and preservation.
134 students are enrolled in the university as I speak now, and they are training for the Bachelor of Education with Runyakitara to become teachers of Runyankore, Ruchiga, and Runyoro Rutoro in our region here. Some of these, I can assure you, Madam Permanent Secretary, are so good that they have the potential to become the Shakespeares and the Charles Dickenses of Runyankore and Ruchiga and Runyoro and Rutoro. They can also become writers of children's books and creators of films in their mother tongues for children, so that our children don't get lost. They need to hear something beautiful, something good in their mother tongue. The appeal also came out that even though the thematic curriculum expects the teaching to be done in a mother tongue only up to primary 4, the subject of mother tongue ought, in our opinion, to go on up to P7 and ought to be examined even at primary leaving examination level, so that schools can take the subject more seriously.
Professor Joy Kwesiga, Vice Chancellor of Kabale University, highlighted the significance of International Mother Language Day in bringing people together to discuss language preservation. She noted that local languages are not given enough space in the country's education system and called on the government to intervene. She also emphasized the university's commitment to cultural heritage, stating that they established a cultural heritage center to equip young generations with the values of preserving their traditions.
We are not giving as a country enough space to learn with mother tongue. We need to see how we can move, because if you just think as an example of the names that we have for it, especially in this region, because of Christianity, we have forgotten how we name people, the meanings of names. We are already all those things. We are emphasizing language studies, but also we are emphasizing culture. It is because of that reason that we have started a young department of cultural heritage studies. And it's still very, very young in that it has very few members of staff, but it's focusing on the issues. How can we provide our heritage, and how can we maintain it and preserve it and pass them on to other people?
Dr. Kedres Tudiagenda, the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education and Sports, attended the conference as the chief guest. She stressed that the diminishing use of indigenous languages is exacerbated by an education system that places excessive emphasis on English. She underscored the need to equip language practitioners with the necessary skills to teach, read, and write in local languages fluently.
And we look at all these things, and so we say, if this thematic curriculum makes sense, we have to introduce it at the same time with the policy of having learning at that level in the mother tongue, so that children are able to learn. Who are the most opponents to this? You and I sitting in this room. It was not my mother who had grandchildren to go to school. It was the elites. No. Our children come to what? It's us, and especially us who have had some education of sorts. We have such a poor mindset that we are fearing all that kills us. All we're saying, I'll be taking care, but I won't say, the importance of identity through your mother tongue. When COVID came and children went home to the villages, they were stuck. They couldn't talk to their grandmothers.
Tudiagenda commended Kawali University for its efforts in training young generations in mother tongue studies and reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting language and culture education. International Mother Language Day is an annual global observance aimed at promoting awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity as well as multilingualism. Compiled by Mara Mishimwe and Norbert Nyamhachi for Kigezi Television.